Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant. The top stories first. Prime Minister Oli affirms no restoration of the lower house, requests leaders and cadres to prepare for election. Experts say the current government has no power after House dissolution. Prime Minister considered as an acting person in power. ADB agrees on providing concessional loan for NEA's power grid modernization. Ministry of Finance claims the project will be worth $196 million. Unrest continues in Yemen. A deadly blast at Aden Airport leads to several casualties. And Liverpool end the calendar year at the top of the Premier League table, play a scoreless draw away at Newcastle. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister and Chairman of Nepal Communist Party, Poush affirmed the dissolved House of the Representatives cannot be restored. Terming the dissolution of lower house as a constitutional move, Prime Minister Oli has directed everyone to make arrangement for the midterm election. Addressing a program organized by the cadres of the far western province, Prime Minister Oli asserted there will be no restoration of the parliament. Referring to the cadres of Dahal, Nepal faction disappointed by the House dissolvement, Prime Minister Oli requested participation in election rather than demonstrating.
केही मान्छेहरू किन उताउलिएका हो मलाई थाहा छैन। अहिले चुनाव घोषणा भएपछि मैले प्रचण्डलाई भने चुनाव घोषणा भएको छ, मिलेर चुनावमा जाउँ। हाम्रा बीचका अन्तर्विरोध थिए भने पनि ती अब चुनावले टुङ्ग्याउँछ। मिलेर चुनाव जाउँ, सामना गरौँ। उहाँ मान्नुभयो। उहाँहरूले त केपी ओलीलाई पार्टीबाट निकाल्यौँ भन्ने घोषणा गर्नु। उहाँले दिएको सदस्यता हो र मलाई।
Prime Minister Oli in the program yet again lamented that he was forced to dissolve the lower house after acknowledging that a vote of no confidence was incoming for him and the impeachment for the Prime Minister. Speaking at the same program, Minister for Industry, Commerce and Supply, Lekh Raj Bhatta, also requested the leaders and cadres not to get involved in protests when the nation is already dealing with coronavirus pandemic. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is working without resignation as there is no provision in the Constitution for the Prime Minister to resign after the dissolution of the House of Representatives. But even though he is not constitutionally obliged to resign, experts say that this government has become a mere caretaker according to the Constitution. Experts say that the government led by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has turned into a caretaker government after President Bidya Devi Bhandari announced the date of the House of Representatives election on April 3rd and 4th. Article 77, Clause 1C of the Constitution says that the post of Prime Minister becomes vacant if there is no member of the House of Representatives. Despite recommending the dissolution of the House of Representatives and the date of new elections, Prime Minister Oli has not resigned. Neither President Bhandari has announced a caretaker government led by Prime Minister Oli. However, legal experts say that the Oli government will not be able to take any decision of long-term importance even if it is not written in the Constitution of 2015. Minister's Foreign Affairs Advisor, Dr. Rajan Bhattrai, claims that in such a situation, the government can make decisions like the regular government. He argues that until the Election Code of Conduct is implemented, this government can take a decision like a regular government. According to legal experts, the Prime Minister is not allowed to dissolve the Parliament if the Prime Minister of the majority party cannot run the government. They suggest giving alternatives. Senior leader of Nepal Communist Party, Janata has accused Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of spreading anarchy in the country. Addressing a training program organized by All Nepal Women Association, Senior leader Khanal alleged Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of conspiring to spread anarchy with the help of some elements that he met in Balwatar. Leader Khanal held Balwatar's meeting hub for people that are anarchic, anti-national and undemocratic. Prime Minister Oli is the leader of such individuals, Leader Khanal said.
केपी ओलीले केही मान्छेहरूलाई तानेर जसरी बालुवाटारमा चाहिँ भेला गरेका छन् त्यो भेला भनेको एउटा गुटको भेला हो त्यो संविधान विरोधी भेला हो त्यो लोकतन्त्र विरोधी भेला हो त्यो अराजक मान्छेहरूको भेला हो त्यो मुलुकलाई लुटपाट गरेर खाने मान्छेहरूको भेला हो.
Leader Khanal alleged Prime Minister Oli of attacking the political stability of the country achieved after a long deadlock. Prime Minister Oli's decision to dissolve the parliament sets a wrong precedent and can provoke others to do the same later. Therefore, there is no alternative to restoration of parliament, Khanal added.
यो संसदको विघटन भनेको यो संविधानको विघटन हो. वास्तवमा संविधानलाई पाल पार्ने काम हो, संविधानलाई विध्वंस गर्ने काम हो. राम्रो जुन संवैधानिक सुनिश्चितता देशमा जुन अस्थिरता आइरहेको थियो त्यसलाई चाहिँ स्थिर ढङ्गले अगाडि बढाउने जुन एउटा सम्भावना हो देशको त्यो स्थिरतालाई अब समाप्त पारिदिएका छन्.
Leader Khanal stated although Prime Minister's decision has been taken to the court, his faction cannot remain quiet in the matter till the court's decision. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Coronavirus has claimed 7 more lives in the country, taking the death toll to 1,847. The government yesterday confirmed 511 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 260,059, while the number of active cases has dropped to 6,300 from the overnight tally of 6,396. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, 251,912 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. Nepal is currently among the top 40 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with 19.97 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.24 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 82.3 million people across the world and claimed 1.79 million lives. The Nepali Congress is going to celebrate this year's National Unity and Reconciliation Day as National Unity in protest of the wrong move taken by the government. Talking to the reporters on Wednesday, Nepali Congress spokesperson Bishwa Prakash Sarma said this year's Reconciliation Day would focus on uniting the people against the government's undemocratic move. According to Sharma, BP had said that the policy of reconciliation was equally relevant in all political situations. Congress has been celebrating National Unity and Reconciliation Day on the same day every year since December 31st, 1976. The Congress Party has also decided to celebrate the Reconciliation Day program in all 77 districts. And now the news from the economic front. An agreement has been reached between the Asian Development Bank and the Ministry of Finance to operate concessional loan assistance for power grid modernization projects. The agreement was signed by Joint Secretary of the Ministry, Sri Krishna Nepal, and Office Representative of the Asian Development Bank, Nepal, Rudy Louis Hendricks, at a program organized at the Ministry of Finance on Wednesday. As per the agreement, the Asian Development Bank will provide $156 million in concessional loan assistance. Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Finance, Nepal, said that the Government of Nepal and Nepal Electricity Authority, NEA, would invest additional millions in the project with the loan assistance from the ADB to bring the total worth of the project to $195 million. The project is believed to help increase the institutional capacity of the Nepal Electricity Authority. The project is to be completed in the next 5 years. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news.
Rich College of Engineering and Management, one of the best colleges in Kathmandu Valley, announces admission open in BBA, BHM and BE Civil. Well-equipped labs, smart teaching pedagogy, multimedia-equipped spacious classrooms, practical applications in all subjects. Rich College of Engineering and Management, Balkumari, Lalitpur. Phone 015186 5186 183.
Welcome back, and now the international news. A deadly blast struck an airport in the southern Yemeni city of Aden, killing at least 22 people and injuring several others yesterday. The explosion occurred shortly after a plane carrying the newly formed government, backed by Saudi Arabia, landed at the airport, Yemeni officials said. Yemen's Interior Ministry said that at least 22 people were killed and 50 were wounded in the blast. According to BBC, aid workers and other officials were among the casualties. The Prime Minister and his cabinet have been reportedly announced safe. Yemeni Information Minister has accused Houthi rebels for the attack. The minister, in his tweet, labeled the incident as cowardly terrorist attack. Yemen has been devastated by conflict that escalated in 2015 when a Saudi-led coalition of Arab states launched a military operation to defeat the Houthis and restore President Abdurrabbu Mansur Hadi's rule, BBC added. UN has warned Yemen has been going through the globe's first humanitarian disaster with millions on the verge of famine. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Liverpool lose out on the opportunity to extend their lead at the top of the table after a scoreless draw with Newcastle United. The Reds end the year where they started, but a second consecutive draw against a team in the bottom half means they are only 3 points clear of Manchester United, who have a game in hand. The Reds missed plenty of chances to go ahead, with Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane all missing crucial chances in the final third. No matter the result, Liverpool were always going to finish the calendar year at the summit of the Premier League table. It was just a question of how far they would be in front, BBC reported. Liverpool will travel to Southampton on Monday, while Newcastle's next fixture is at home to Leicester on Sunday. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Prime Minister Oli affirms no restoration of lower house, requests leaders and Kidris to prepare for election. Experts say the current government has no power after House dissolution. Prime Minister considered as an acting person in power. ADB agrees on providing concessional loan for NEA's power grid modernization. Ministry of Finance claims the project will be worth $196 million. Unrest continues in Yemen. Deadly blast at Aden Airport leads to several casualties. And Liverpool end the calendar year at the top of the Premier League table, play a scoreless draw away at Newcastle United. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website, janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.